Hello Verna and welcome back. My name is SL Gamer Guy, and today is going to be another one of my random projects. This is going to be a ham radio go box, specifically for this 2-meter Zazatone, Z218 2-meter slash 70 centimeter radio. This is UHF VHF. And my main goal is to put it inside of this ammo can, which is for apparently 10 caps blasting electric. So 10 electric blasting caps for MG. I don't really know what that is. The tape is over my call sign, which I've already written on there. This is primarily for, I've heard it pronounced Rs, I say ARIS, which is the Amateur Radio Emergency Services. And for this project, it's pretty much everything that I have lying around, which is obviously the ammo can, obviously. Yeah, you know, everyone, they just have ammo cans just strewn about the house. So yeah, ammo can, I had that lying around. This antenna relay switch, it came with the order for my Heathkit HW100 transceiver, which is an HF radio, high frequency. However, it doesn't actually go with the radio. It's got the wrong plug on it. So, I pretty much just kept it around for parts. Let me refocus. I'm getting used to this new camera. This is I bought a new camera. It is used, but it seems to be in like perfect condition. It's the Canon Vixia HF-R600. I think I got that right. So I'm going to pull off one of these. I feel like this is one of those connectors where the male and the female have a different name. I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to be referring to these as a PL259 panel mount male connector, because that makes sense to me. I should have looked that up before we started. So I'm going to be scavenging one of these connectors off of there. I have a momentary switch, it's a three-way switch, but I believe this to be a double throw single pull switch. So off in the middle, on connects that contact and that contact, down connects that contact and that contact. Have a digital voltmeter, obviously the Zazatone Z218 transceiver, microphone, then a brand new AGM, which is it's either acid glass mat or absorbed glass mat battery, so this can be used on its side, but not inverted, I believe. This is a 5 amp hour, 12 volt battery, and it seems to, I've done a little bit of testing, and with this radio, it gives it a listening time of well over, if I had to guess, because I do know that the lower the battery voltage, the faster it will discharge. I believe this is going to end up being about 10 hours worth of listening. With transmitting, I haven't taken that into account, but I think it still should be pretty good and be able to fit inside of this can. My goal is to, if I can open this somewhat quietly, forgot about that. It's fine. It's fine, everything's fine. Stop asking if it's fine, everything's okay. That's actually really cool. I knew that they came off, but not that easily. If that's supposed to happen, that's great, because that's going to be easier for use as a desktop radio. This battery is going to be slid in here on its side. This radio is going to be mounted, I believe, up here on the top. And then these switches, the momentary switch, the three-way switch, the voltmeter, and then the PL259 connector is going to be mounted on a steel faceplate underneath of it, which is then going to be, because I'm not going to be going out to the store because I'm lazy and I'm going to be using everything I have here, everything's probably just going to be siliconed and pop riveted into the case. So my goal with this radio, or I should say with this go box, is I want everything to be self-contained, because the lid of the ammo can has a rubber gasket all the way around the top. It is, I feel safe to say, waterproof. I want to keep it that way. So, I'm going to be putting the radio in there, putting the display and the faceplate on, the switches, and hopefully I'll be able to get everything done today without stopping and charging the camera's battery. I have 103 minutes of battery left, if that's an accurate counter. So, yeah, I guess the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the connector out of here, which will probably need to be cut out. The wires cut on the backside and unscrewed off the faceplate. I'm going to need to take the measurements as to this radio, where it needs to sit, so that way the box can close properly. And then how large and the dimensions of the faceplate and how far back it needs to sit, because this toggle switch sticks out roughly an inch. So I believe it's going to need to be sat back further than the radio, because I want the radio right out front so it is easily visible. So yeah, with that, I'm going to head into the workshop, clean off a bench so that way I can have a somewhat neat video and take you guys along for the ride of making this thing. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the planning of the radio box itself. So, I'm going to take the ammo can, pop it open, remove the lid, and I want this side with my call sign and the Amateur Radio Emergency Services posted on the top of the box. And like I said previously, I want this radio mounted in the top there. So I'm going to sort of... I'm going to go like that and take some measurements. That is about the lowest I want the face of that radio. So with that there, I'll take a measurement and then... So with those measurements taken out of the way, I need to write it down, because if I forget, I'm going to be frustrated and have to remeasure it. So our faceplate needs to be 6 inches by 1.25 inches. Which, now that I have a measuring tape, let's see. Yeah, we can probably... That seems... I want the radio to be able to tip down. Just move that in the frame. I want the radio to be able to tip down. This is upside down, so that's tipping down. But I also want there to be a decent bezel of steel around the faceplate here, so that way it actually has something to bite into. So our measurements for now, and I know I said I'm not going to work on the fly, our measurements for now, and I'll try to stick to them, are 1.25 inches by 6 inches. So, I'm going to put these ways. These are a sensitive measuring instrument. And disassemble the antenna relay switch, which does not work with the Heathkit HW100. If you wondered just how old this was when someone made it, check out that capacitor. Sharp wire. Check out that electrolytic capacitor. Paper wound. And oozing out the top. You know, this really is, someone put a lot of effort into this radio. Well, both the radio, the Heathkit HW100 in my office, and this relay. So, I definitely wasn't going to throw it out. And until now, I could not bring myself to disassemble it for parts. About like that. Yes. Yeah. About like this. So we're going to have the voltage display. Hello, white balance. So there's going to be the voltage display. That is going to be the little push button. That's going to be the toggle switch, and that's going to be the antenna connector. So I am going to drill and cut these out. I will be back. Okay, well, I've gotten done drilling out and grinding out the faceplate, it's messier than I was hoping it was going to turn out to be, but you have to work with what you've got. So, this is what it looks like. I think most of this will clean off, but it's still going to be, burnt off there. I'll probably end up painting it eventually. I'm just going to, for the time being, assemble this. That should be the last time that I have to mess with this. Well, besides with wiring, but that shouldn't be a big problem. I don't know why I'm trying to do this 2 at a time, as I probably barely have the skill to do this 1 at a time. Yeah, this is our panel. So we have our voltmeter. This, the reason I went with a 3-way switch is because eventually on the side here I want to add 2 turret connectors, but that's separate. So it's going to be probably, well, that's going to be radio on, and then the push button is going to momentarily turn on the voltage display, so that way it's not on constantly and using power unnecessarily. And then this PL259 connector, I know that's what this is called, I think. I shouldn't be so sure of that. Is going to pretty much just be a jumper from the back of that connector to the back of the radio. So, I am now that this is mostly assembled, I have to wire everything. Oh, and I already drilled the, yeah, let me just, boom. I already drilled the holes in the ammo can. Yeah, I guess I called an ammo can, it's technically for blasting caps, but whatever. So there's the holes on the back there. This is going to match up inside the can to those 2 holes. These 2 holes are for the radio's mounting bracket, which will be on the inside of the can. And I really want to start riveting everything in there, but I know that if I do, I'm going to forget something. So for the time being, I think I can set this to the side and start assembling and wiring up the radio. And this is going to be top mounted, as it was, I think, previously. Okay, well, I got the radio and everything wired up now. Everything is working. So, I'm going to move this stuff back a little bit and show you what's going on here. It's fine. So, if I turn this bunch of wires around, and the battery here for circuit demonstrations, here is the power going to the radio. So you have the negative, positive. Negative goes onto the battery. And so what occurs is, I have had some problems. This connector here for the radio, it's loose because obviously it's not meant to have standard spade connectors shoved in there, so they'll short. So I'm going to put some heat shrink around there when everything is said and done. So the positive goes from the terminal of the battery down into the switch. As you can see, there's a little jumper here. So the positive is going to the momentary switch, which then feeds the positive into the voltmeter. Then negative goes into the radio, or the positive can then be switched and go to the radio to turn it on. So what this allows us to do, this little jumper wire, is to read the voltage of the battery without having to have the radio turned on. And then I added the little splice in right here, going to the antenna mount. Not the antenna mount, the antenna connector. So, now that everything here is done, I think we are ready to rivet this in. Okay, well, the Amateur Radio Emergency Services Go Box is done. Take and flip it over. Pop the lid. If we want to, we can... Wait. Remove the lid. Sorry, going really quickly because I have 4 minutes battery left. Microphone, pulled out. Plug it in. Battery voltage, 13.1. Radio turns on. There's the antenna connector. We can see that it's drawing power, so it's under load, 13 volts. There's the foam protecting the battery, concealed behind it. And that has been the process of how to make a 2-meter / 70 centimeter VHF UHF ham radio go box. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I have both of those. If you are watching on DTube, thank you very much. If you're watching on YouTube, go check out my DTube. That would be d.tube. No www, no https, nothing, just d.tube in your search bar. Type in SL Gamer Guy, you'll find me. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. There is very, very little time left. Stay awesome, and I will see you in the next video. Stay awesome, and let me know down in the comments what you think of the new camera. Canon Vixia HF-R600.